Why hasn't your government done more to specifically help renters?
So the Canadian government has done a fairly good job at least trying to communicate to the public what is going on. So every day, Justin Trudeau holds an address, and then the government answers questions, as well as Trudeau. They answer questions from the press that people may have. But there is still no answer about rent. Now, last week, this happened. Canada's big six banks will allow mortgage payments deferrals for up to 6 months to help customers struggling amid the economic downturn. So if you own property, you're good for 6 months. But if you're like many people, millions of Canadians who rent either business or your home, you're out of luck. So today, once again, Trudeau was asked about this. Watch his response, because this is nothing.
A lot of people who are sitting at home right now watching this press conference who cannot afford to continue paying their rent or for themselves or for their businesses. Why hasn't your government done more to specifically help renters?
Yeah, we know that there are significant pressures on Canadians right across the country who are facing bills coming in, who are facing pressures on caring for their families. That is why we are working extremely quickly to get money out the door into the pockets of Canadians during this extraordinary time. We recognize there are hundreds of thousands of Canadians out there who are applying for EI benefits online. What we're working through, including with the step of recalling Parliament tomorrow, is a legislative package that will allow us to move forward even quicker on getting money into the pockets of Canadians who need it right across the country.
So his response here is all about getting money into people's pockets, completely avoiding the question about rent. So good. Yeah, money in people's pockets is important. But the people that now no longer have to pay their mortgage for 6 months, they're also getting money into their pockets, except now that the money they're getting doesn't have to go to mortgage payments. So they get to focus that money on food or entertainment or whatever they need to get them through this. People that are paying rent, a good chunk of their money that they may be getting through EI has to go to rent payments. How does that make any sense? So let me show you some reaction here about the lack of reaction to rent from the Trudeau government. This from Marva Burnett, president of Acorn Canada, called the plan a good start, but he's calling for a nationwide freeze on rent, similar to what homeowners have been offered. Acorn thinks the government should put the rent freeze on, a total rent freeze, Burnett said in a recent phone interview with ctvnews.ca. Quote, "The people who are going to suffer the most are the renters, the lower income people of Canada." And France has done it. Other countries out there have done it. Why can't Canada do it? So it's not like this is unprecedented, that, forcing people to not be able to, or forcing property owners to not take rent from people renting their properties. Like it's not like it's never happened before. It's happening right now. It's going on currently. Yet in Canada, we can't get it done. And again, he completely skips the question. Doesn't even directly. This is what Trudeau always does. He never, when he doesn't have an answer, he's not going to tell you, "Oh, well, I don't have an answer. We'll look into that." No, he'll skip the question, especially if it's something he doesn't want to deal with, which in this case, clearly he doesn't want to deal with rent payments. He'll completely skirt around the question and bring it back to something else. I want to share this from Justin Morissette. Every day that Trudeau does not announce a freeze on rent, utilities, etc., is another day that people continue to leave the house for work out of fear of financial obligations. And quite frankly, the longer it takes to do this, the more irresponsible the inaction is. So this is a very important point, because today Trudeau made his focus of his address today was people stay home. Don't go out, unless you work in essential services. Well, people that where their companies are still operating, if they're renting, they need to make money to afford to live, to be able to pay rent, utilities. If there's nothing to deal with that, then people are going to continue going out to work until their company shut down or until they're out of a job. So again, Trudeau not doing anything about rent is putting more people at risk. Also, Vice News covered this, I think this was last week. Coronavirus emergency money won't make it in time for Canadians with rent due April 1st. So even in the case where people are getting money, the money isn't coming soon enough to be able to pay for that rent. But I want to share a quote here that I thought was important. The fact that there is a rent freeze on mortgage payments allows homeowners and property owners and landlords to accumulate rent from us while they incur no fees or interest. It's discriminatory towards the working class, towards small business. So, I mean, a lot of landlords out there, their entire job is just sitting on property, and their income is your rent. So there are people out there that no longer have to pay their mortgages, no longer have to pay for the property they own, but they get to continue collecting rent from people living in that property. I don't know how you defend this. One last thing, I'll link to this below the video. Cancel rent and mortgage payments. Clearly this was made before the mortgage payments were delayed, but cancel rent and mortgage payments during COVID-19. So change.org, check it out, sign the petition, and this is all we have at this point. Apart from the press pushing Trudeau on this question, we're going to have to wait to see if anything is done about this.